And the images continue to be dramatic and just gut-wrenching out of Southern California tonight, where the Palisades fire continues to grow, forcing new evacuations as crews try to fight to stop its spread. Meantime, the Los Angeles fire chief is speaking out tonight about budget cuts that she says hurt the department's ability to respond.
$17 million cut did not allow us to do what we needed to do.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Golston Dart.
And I'm Andrea Flores. Crews are still working to control a number of fires across Southern California tonight. And tonight, the death toll is at 11. More than 12,000 structures have burned. At least 180,000 people have been forced to evacuate. And the fires have burned at least 56 square miles. That's more than half the size of the city of Sacramento.
Well, crews are starting to gain ground on the two largest wildfires. The Eaton fire, that one's over 13,600 acres right now. That's the one that's burning in Altadena. Crews have it 3% contained. Officials reminding people that the water in those evacuation zones are not safe to drink because of the fire debris contamination.
The largest of these fires is the Palisades fire. It has burned more than 21,000 acres. Containment on the fire grew to 8% today, but more evacuation orders were put out tonight as the fire started to burn near a new neighborhood.
KC Area 3's Melanie Wingo has been reporting from Pacific Palisades for us all week, covering the devastation from the ground, and has now more on what she's seeing tonight.
Mandatory evacuation orders are still in place for the Palisades fire burn zone. And as you can see, it is still an active area with numerous vehicles, firefighting vehicles, first responders, police officers, CHP officers, and utility crews working to repair not just sites along the highway, but they're also working on the infrastructure up in the areas where homes are located. Right now, we're seeing the devastation that has impacted businesses along Pacific Coast Highway. This one in particular happened to be a yard and garden store. We can see the shop is now destroyed. And just beyond this chain link fence, you can see statues and pottery and yard furniture. It is all now destroyed by the fire. So clearly a long way to go for the people affected by this fire. Those evacuation orders, again, still in place. No time yet that we know of as to when they will be lifted. Reporting from Pacific Palisades, Melanie Wingo, now back to you.
And taking another look at these live images now of the Palisades fire. This is now considered the most destructive fire in LA's history. Crews have been working to contain as much as possible, with more winds expected to be stronger this weekend.
And with the latest on the fire conditions right now, we want to check in with KCRA 3 meteorologist Dirk Verdorn. So Dirk, what are we seeing down there in the Southern California area?
Well, good news is that the winds are not nearly as strong as they were, but the winds are just taking a break because we are expecting winds to be on the increase as we head into the weekend. Right now, you see calm conditions, just light winds pretty much across the board. Of course, winds are going to be a little bit stronger into the mountains and canyons, but air quality also something we've been watching. It's not too bad. We have moderate levels of particulates in the LA basin. Most of the smoke, at least the thicker smoke, has been pushed off a little bit more to the east as we've seen a shift in the winds to more of an onshore breeze. But again, the winds are going to be coming from the north again as we develop that through the weekend. So you can see the winds not too bad as we get into Saturday morning, but as we progress through Saturday, the winds start to increase. We start seeing those winds really pop up, and you can see that we get these gusts. Now, these are gusts that are being forecast in that 50 to 60 mile an hour range around Malibu and through the Santa Monica Mountains and West Covina, also kind of in that category, Pasadena and the San Bernardino Mountains, also getting some of those stronger winds that are going to be picking up as we progress through Sunday morning and into the early afternoon, and then those winds should taper off by Sunday night and into Monday. But still, we are going to see an increase in the north winds. Once again, not as strong as before, but still something that's going to be of concern to the firefighters still putting out those fires. Back over to you.
All right, thanks for that look there, Dirk. Well, this is new tonight. LA's fire chief is speaking out, saying that the department's firefighting efforts were hurt by city budget cuts to her department. NBC Bay Area shooting some video here. Take a look. This is the vehicle yard in Los Angeles, and you can see, look at them all parked right there. A number of fire trucks and ambulances sitting together, all covered in dust. LA's fire chief Kristen Crowley telling KNBC that the city's move to cut her budget by $17 million for this year left her unable unable to get them fixed and on the fire lines where they could have made a difference.
The $17 million cut into our ability to utilize resources that should be at our disposal that we were unable to fix because the funding was not there because of cuts to our mechanics.
What type of apparatus are we talking about specifically?
Mainly fire engines and ambulances.
Well, tonight the fire chief was called into a last-minute meeting by the LA Mayor Karen Bass. So far, there's no official word on what happened during that meeting, but the mayor's office did issue a statement saying that the chief was not fired. The mayor had supported even deeper cuts to the fire department this year. Well, this evening we have new reaction coming from the governor on the fire response.
And Newsom inviting President-elect Trump to California to see the damage firsthand. In a letter, the governor saying in part, quote, "In the spirit of this great country, we must not politicize human tragedy or spread disinformation from the sidelines. Hundreds of thousands of Americans displaced from their homes and fearful for their future deserve to see all of us working in their best interest to ensure a fast recovery and rebuild." We did reach out to the president-elect about the invitation, but have not heard back. And today, Governor Newsom also demanding an investigation into the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power over those water supply issues. This comes after reports of a lack of water for hydrants and an empty reservoir in the area. Newsom has directed fire and water officials in his own administration to look into this and for city officials to do the same.
Well, some 600 members of the California National Guard now deployed throughout Southern California. The troops are there on the ground providing extra security to help prevent looting, which has already been happening. Los Angeles County is also enforcing a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in the evacuation areas. And this morning, the sheriff's office announcing that it continues to arrest people for looting.
There continues to be criminal activity in the Eaton area, and we continue to make additional arrests since yesterday, but these numbers are still fluctuating and we're gathering the information. In total, we have made about 18 arrests between Eaton and the Palisades fire, 15 in Eaton and then 3 in Palisades. Charges include possession of narcotics, possession of burglary tools, burglary, identity theft, looting.
Now we want to show you this, some satellite imagery. This is neighborhoods showing before and after those devastating fires.
This is a look at Malibu this time last year compared to now. The satellite capturing all of that smoke and the homes that are now leveled.
And we have some of these images showing a neighborhood. This is in Altadena. That's where the Eaton fire is, and you can see the burned area on your screen clearly. And the fire just wiping out so many homes.
And the Pacific Palisades completely devastated. Take a look. You can see what it looked like just a few months ago. Now entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble. Homes are not the only structures burned in the fire. Many businesses have also been impacted. The Pellegrini family found out today their restaurant was destroyed in the fire. The owner's mother opened the restaurant in Pacific Palisades 40 years ago. Community members have been helping the family since the fire started, and the family says they plan to rebuild.
We will make sure to follow all of the late-breaking developments on the Southern California wildfires, both on air and on our app. Make sure to turn on the push alert so you can get the latest news on that.